PubChem. DCRC will welcome all you for the workshop on PubChem as a resource of chemical information retrieval. In this pandemic, this is our fourth webinar, or you can say a workshop. We are going to organize. Hope you are all well in this pandemic. So let's start. DCRC is powered by Nayi Subah, which is established in the last year in the pandemic, and we are focused to work in the in silico drug design and discovery. We are working under Nayi Subah. It's an NGO, and we have already also collaboration with Unicodes. So our focus area, these are our focus area where we are working right now, and planning to organize some more webinars to which is helpful for you and other peoples who belongs to these fields. And we are focusing on molecular docking, MD simulations, transcriptional signatures, data mining, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, ligand similarity, binding site detections, protein comparison, and network pharmacology and ligand similarity. See, so these are our advisory board members of DCRC. Professor Kamal Raj Pardarsani from MNIT Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. He has 35 years of experience, and Dr. Arun Kumar Gupta, he is also professor and principal in Chameli Devi Institute of Pharmacy, Indore, Madhya Pradesh. He has 23 plus years experience. And Dr. Satish Kumar Sarankar, principal, Akhil Bharti College of Pharmacy. He has 8 to 9 years experience in the field of in silico. So our today's topic for the workshop is PubChem as a resource of chemical information retrieval. So hope this workshop will helpful for you to search structures, databases, literatures, and other things, which is delivered from our instructor of DCRC in the coming minutes. So what is PubChem? PubChem is the largest public chemical information repository where you can find data from university labs, government agencies, publishers, chemical biology resources, pharma companies, chemical vendors. These communities feed their or share their data on PubChem. So any person from the public or any researchers can find the data and do some research. So basically, which type of data you can find in the PubChem? You can find the data which is related to biochemical pathway data and scientific literatures you can find out here, and match chemical structures. You can draw the structures and then find the structures or drugs, any type of drugs which is already published or submitted by the agencies. And you can also screen the assay data, and you can find out the drug target data. So thank you so much to joining us. And she has 7 years of experience in the field of bioinformatics as well as chem informatics, and she pursued his her Master of Science MS from Naipur, Kolkata. So welcome you, ma'am.
So first of all, welcome everyone to this one-day workshop organized by Drug Chemistry Research Center. And in this workshop, we will learn a bit about chem informatics and PubChem. And I hope after this workshop, you all will be able to do some chemical retrieval and search independently from PubChem. So first of all, what is chem informatics? As we all aware, am I audible to all? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I would love to I would love to start from a brief introduction of chem informatics. So first of all, chem informatics, like bioinformatics, is a field of information technology that focuses on collection, storage, analysis, and manipulation of chemical data. So the chemical data of interest typically includes information on small molecules, formulas, structures, properties, spectra data, and activities. So, what is the major difference between cheminformatics and bioinformatics? As we all are aware that bioinformatics is basically deal with biopolymers like proteins, nucleotides, and RNAs, and all these are polymers. Biopolymers are sequence of repetitive subunits. Like when we talk about proteins, we automatically the amino acids like glycine, alanine, and valine, they all hit in our minds. And in a protein, all these are occur in a particular sequence, but this not happens in case of chemical structures. In chemical structures we don't find such repeats, and this fields, for that we need a separate retrieval and representation system for the chemical structures. Both the bioinformatics and cheminformatics are an integral part of computer aided drug designing. These are basically the pillars of computer aided drug designing. Okay, so how can we represent a chemical structure? Like proteins are represented by amino acid sequence, nucleotides are or DNA are represented by the sequence of nucleotides. Like uh, pro- uh, compounds or chemicals are also represented by the order at which they occur in a particular structure. Like we have benzene, so we can say first carbon in a benzene is adjacent to second number of benzene. So this is a particular order. So we gather all this information in a table which is known as connection table. So here I have represented a structure of chemical in a connection table, in which the first two columns, as it is a 2D structure, is the particular orientation or position of each atom. So chemical structures can be found in a different formats like mol2, pdp, sdf, and text format or flat format like smiles. There are different repositories for chemical system, chemical structures like pubchem, zinc, DrugBank, cambial, binding, db, compounds, and chemspider. Each one has their own advantages and disadvantages, and pubchem is the largest among all these libraries. And today in our session we will be talking about pubchem. So PubChem is a database of chemical molecules and their activities against biological assays. The PubChem project was created in 2004 as a component of NIH Molecular Library Roadmap Initiative. And the purpose of the creation of the PubChem was to identify novel research reagent and discover candidate components for drug development. One of the major advantage of PubChem is it is freely available, and anyone can access a large amount of tested data from PubChem. So if we will go about the statistics of compounds in PubChems, we can find that there are more than 100 millions of unique compounds we can access through PubChem. Not only compounds, it also contains the information related to their bioassays, bioactivities, targets in which they are acting, and literature from which these have retrieved, and patents and sources from where all these data has been collected. So if we will talk about drug discovery, a good data forms the foundation of any good research. So as we know that PubChem contains a large and validated data, so this database serves as a major building block for a good research. So the question arises here, from where PubChem gets these type of data. So there are different sources of the data from which PubChem collects its data. These are chemical vendors like Sigma, Eldridge, and there are different kind of chemical vendors. This is the major source of the retrieval of the information. Research and development institutes. Many research and development institute or government organization contribute its data to PubChem. Public curation effect. There are different kind of databases like Binding DB, Drug Bank, which are linked to PubChem. From those databases, it curates its data. NIH initiatives. All the data which generates in NIH initiative is submitted to PubChem. Subscription services, journals, there are highly impact journals like Nature and all, Elsevier, Springer, they submit their data to PubChem and siRNA reagent vendors. So these are all the major sources of data for PubChem. So with the passing years, the data retrieval and the users who use PubChem is increasing day by day. So as we see from this graph, in October 2020, more than 4.8 million users hit the PubChem database, and major of these users is the student ranging in the age of 18 to 24. So PubChem, when a person or organization submit its data to PubChem, the data is submitted as in substance or as an acid deposition. So like a person has carried out a high throughput screening of more than 1 million compounds, and it knows that these compounds are active and these compounds are not active. So they can submit their data directly to PubChem. Or if an individual has isolated some natural compound and they want to submit their compounds to public repository like PubChem, they can submit their data to PubChem too. So once you submit your data to PubChem, your data is known as PubChem substance or PubChem bioassay. Means that is not reviewed data. So once the person working in the PubChem, they search, they refine your data, they check your data for their uniqueness or the reliability or the novelty of data. And if they find that you have submitted a new or novel compound, they give you a unique compound ID, PubChem CID, and now your substance is known as PubChem compound. So this is the journey of a PubChem substance to PubChem compound. So once you submit your data to PubChem, they check, validate chemical content like how many atoms are in their functional groups, valence, etc. And after that, they normalize the representation. As we know that a compound can have several tautomers and it can exhibit several type of stereochemistry. So they check with the respect of their geometry also. After normalization of data, they represent their flat data to 2D or 3D formats and calculate their molecular properties. And this PubChem has its own molecular descriptor calculation pipeline. So they calculate particular descriptor for all your PubChem substance, and after that they neutralize your data and give it a unique compound ID, and now your PubChem substance is known as PubChem compound. Okay, so how can we explore the PubChem database? So PubChem database can be explored with the help of text search, structure search, or you can upload a list of IDs to PubChem and get all the queries in one go. Okay, so this is the interface of the PubChem you get when you go to PubChem site, and this bar is for chemical querying. So you can query the compound with its name. This is known as text-based search. You can put smiles. Smiles is a kind of chemical representation. You can put smiles to PubChem search bar, and you can also draw the structure of your chemical of interest, and after that you can get all the information present for that compound in PubChem. Like in this example, I have searched for aspirin. as I hit the search button, I will get the hits I found for aspirin. As we check, go to the more deeper, you will get all the information, like information related to structure, information means different names and identifier. As we know that different persons use different name for their compounds, so you will get all the information related to all the information submitted by the submitter. Chemical and physical properties. As you know that chemical and physical properties plays an important role for the particular bioactivity of a compounds. So it also contains the chemical and physical properties report. Spectral information. PubChem accept the spectral information which is determined by experimental methodologies, and it also gets generated the spectral information by softwares. And it, if there is another record or remarks for the compound, it all you can also get it from here. One of the most important thing is that you can get the information related to the chemical vendors. And if you want to purchase some compounds, you have to not go to different sites for the retrieval of that compounds. You will get all the information related to the chemical vendors in PubChem itself. So if you have a lead compound, you will not get the information related to drugs and medication information. If you have a established drug like aspirin is an approved drug, you will get information related to drug and medication information. You will get the information related to pharmacology and biochemistry in PubChem too. So if we talk about aspirin is a COX blocker. So you will get the information related to the COX pathway and its IC50 in PubChem database. It will also give you link to different databases like Drug Bank here itself, so you can also redirect your search from PubChem to those databases. You will get manufacturing information, identification, safety, and hazards. There are some chemicals which are hazardous to health, like some compounds are carcinogenic, some irritates eye. So all the safety related information you will get here. If it is associated with a particular disorder or disease, this information will also you can get from here. One of the most another important aspect is the literature and patents. Suppose you have some you have isolated a new compound and you want to check the patent. If there is any compound or the compound has been patented by anyone, you can get the patent related information also in the PubChem. And you can get whole the literature related to your compound in PubChem. So you should not buy a separate license like for SciFinder or other expensive database. You can do this all these things in the PubChem itself. Okay, so you will also get more information you can get from PubChem. It depends on the information provided by the submitter. So these were the text-based search you can perform in PubChem. Now, if you don't know that what is the name of your substance, what is the smiles of that of your structure, you can simply go to the Draw Structure tab and you can draw your structure in PubChem Sketcher. PubChem provides a very comprehensive interface for drawing of the structure. So you can generate or get your structure from the smiles. You can put your smile string here and it will generate the structure, or you can simply draw your structure here and after that you can search for the structure. You can also export your structure in different formats like MDL, MOL, SGF, or even you can get your structure in PNG format also. So this interface is very user friendly and very comprehensive. Now, like I check my structure, I queried my structure with this structure interface. I got these results like I was getting from that from text-based search. So there are different ways of querying a molecule in PubChem. So if you can see from here, from the structure is identified one structure. PubChem contains more than 1,000 compounds which share similarity with this aspirin. There are more than 1,000 structure which have substructure, and more than 800 compounds which are similar, which shares 3D similarity with aspirin. So like as per your query or requirement, you can go for different options. Okay. Another thing is you can upload a list of compounds so that you can get all the compounds in one go. You can upload a compound by compound ID, CID. Like in this example, I have shown 3 compounds or their CIDs, and you can go for substance IDs. Substance is just a compound, is the raw form of your data. Okay, and you can also you can also search for a bioassay record. Like you want to search a high throughput screening for hug assays. Hug is an hug is a channel which if a substance is blocking hug channel, it will leads to cardiotoxicity and QT prolongation. So nowadays scientist has great interest for discovering anything which can delay or which can reverse that hug blockage. So if you want to design such a model, you can simply search an bioassay for hug, and then you can find all the compounds which have been tested in those type of bioassays. Now, how can we say that PubChem is a good database for drug discovery? As we all aware that drugs and lead-like compounds are defined by particular laws. Like we can talk about Lipinski's rule of five. Lipinski's rule of five defines four properties of the compounds. Like if a compound has molecular weight less than 500, or log P less than 5, or hydrogen bond accepted less than 5, or hydrogen bond accepted less than 10. So it can be a drug. It can exhibit good oral bioavailability. So it has more chances to become a successful drug. Likewise, there are some other rules like Congreve's rule of three. This rule basically for fragment or lead-like compound discovery. So in a research published on Expert Opinion in Drug Discovery 2016, it has been found that 77% of the compounds in the PubChem represents drug-like properties, and 12% shows are following rule of three. So in this respect, we can say that PubChem serves as a good source for drug discovery. And there are other thing is that a large subset of the compound present in the PubChem has not been tested since 2016. Now and the compounds which has been tested, like 2.1 million tested compounds, exhibit a good range of activities. Like 39,000 of compounds are exhibiting IC50 less than 1 nanoM. So these compounds can be a good scaffold for designing new molecules for your drug discovery research. Now, how can you submit your data, and why you should submit your data to PubChem? Because and how can you submit your data to PubChem? Like PubChem, if you have some chemical structures, or you have a good experimental data linked to that compounds, you can submit your data to freely available PubChem database. And if you will submit your data to PubChem, it will come into open. It will be an open source data, and it will help other researchers to build a robust research, and it will save their time and effort. And open sharing is always a good practice in the perspective of a research work. So there are different academic labs, government agencies, and chemical supply agencies, and pharmaceutical companies are contributing their data to PubChem. And so I will encourage you, if you want to submit your data to PubChem, it will be good. So in summary, PubChem is the most important resource for this research and drug development. PubChem can be utilized by chemists, biologists, and students for chemical structure and information retrieval system. So for now, is if you have any question, you can ask me.
Hello.
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 Hello, ma'am. The session was very informative. It will be more useful, or if it is feasible for you, can you search any drug in the PubChem?
Yeah. We will do that. We will do that.
So the participant will get the information. How can they access PubChem? Okay.
Sure. We will do
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah. Definitely.
if anyone have, if anyone doesn't have any question, I'm moving forward toward that section.
First,
Hello, ma'am.
yeah.
Ma'am, will you please elaborate connection table?
Yeah, sure. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. So connection table is a simple record which from which we can get the information about the arrangement of a compound in arrangement of atom in a compound. Like we assign different compound a particular number. As you can see, right side, atom number 1, atom, it the compound contains four atoms, 1, 2, 3, and 4. First atom is C, second is C, third is C, and 4 is O. So you can check um, if C is connected to C, then you will get that C is connected to C, and the adjacency between the atom is 2. They are separated by they are separated by one. So one at one bond. So the bond order between 1 and 2 will be 1, and 1, 2, 2 and 3. Again, 2 and 3 is separated with each other by only
Hello.
one bond. So
Hello.
yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. There are some noises coming from Jay Kumari, ma'am. Yeah. Now continue, ma'am, please.
Okay, like you can see that atom 2 and 3 are separated with each other from just one bond. So the bond order between 2 and 3 is 1. And if you will see that atom 2 and 4, they are also separated by 1. So the bond order between them is means 1. So bond order will be 1. So these information can be used for the generation of the chemical structure by the computer. If you will see that at atom 1, if you will see the relationship between atom 1 and 4, these are separated by two bonds, like one between 1 and 2 is 2, 2, 4. So the bond order between the 1 and 4 is 2 this time. So from this information, computers generate their data. So this is how the information is generated for generation of the structure. And if you will see, this is the represent this information which I told you is stored in this bond block. Okay, so if you will look a particular connection table, you will get the information related to the whole of the structure. Like the first line, which is count line, is gives you how many atoms and what is the name of the compound in count line. In atom block, you will see the orientation, means their location in a particular space. If it is a 2D structure, you will get information related to X, Y block. And if it is a 3D structure, you will get information related to X, Y, and Z. These, the first three columns are X, Y, Z coordinate of a molecule. So these are all the information which you can get from the connection table. So is it clear you now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. And there is also one questions Thanks for the session, ma'am. How can we get the untested compounds and how to proceed to research? So, question from B Prem. B Prem, if I'm audible to you, you can unmute yourself and ask question directly.
Good morning, madam. Thank you for the session.
Good morning, Sus.
Now, you said many compounds are untested. So, how can we know a compound is untested and how can we proceed further?
Okay, so there is PubChem substance and PubChem compound, two types of records you can found in PubChem. So all the records are not available for every compound. If a compound is not tested, then there will be not the record which is dealing with that activity will not be there for it. So you can know that these compounds are not tested. And moreover, there is a bioassay section in PubChem. So you
Okay.
can search your compound with respect to bioassay. If the compound has been tested, then you will get the record from the bioassay section. And if it have not been tested, you will not get any record in bioassay section. So this is
Okay.
very simple.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir, for asking question. There is also one question from Pritam Das. Ma'am, what is congruous rule of three? Can you briefly describe it?
Yes, sure. Congreve's rule of three is basically rule designed by Congreve. It is basically for designing of fragment-based drug discovery. So, like Lipinski's rule of five is basically the component of the Lipinski's rule of five are multiple of five. In Congreve's rule, you will see that it states that if a compound's log P is less than or equals to 3, or if it has hydrogen bond donor or acceptor less than 3, then this fragment is more preferable for drug discovery. So it only deals with three components, that is log P, sorry, and one more component is molecular weight. It says that molecular weight less than 300, log P less than 3, or hydrogen bond donor 3 less than equals to 3, and hydrogen or acceptor less than equals to 3. So if these parameter is satisfied by any fragment, there is more chances that it can be a successful candidate for the drug discovery. It is more conceivable. So that is Congreve's rule of three.
Thank you so much,
So,
ma'am. Okay. If anyone who want to ask question. Hello. There are yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Pritam Das. Is there anyone? There are many professors also joined this workshop, ma'am, from different colleges. So if they don't have any query, so they can also share their experience and whatever they want to say about this workshop. DCRC welcome them. It's a last call. Is there any query? Okay, ma'am. I think there is no question and no query. And right now we are going to close, ma'am. Is this good?
what?
We are going to close the session, and I also ask a question in this after the session that please go through PubChem and show how we can search data or any drug in the PubChem, and it will helpful for the students who are undergraduate and postgraduate. Can we do that, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So now we are moving towards the second section, that is querying your particular compound in PubChem database, and I hope it will be helpful for many of the students. So are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a PubChem screen.
No, it's not visible. I think please share
Okay,
once again. Yeah,
I'm resharing.
yeah, reshare, please.
Okay, are you able to see now?
Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay, so this is the basic GUI of PubChem. So when you go to this site, you will find many options for searching your compound. So if you will just type aspirin, okay, you will type aspirin, you can search aspirin in compound, as we are talking about the compound. And as you hit, you will get the first hit as an aspirin. So you can simply click on aspirin and you will get all the data related to this compound. Okay, so you can also get the 2D images, the 3D images, along with the structural information, and you can download these information or structures in different format from PubChem itself. So as I was discussing, if you can get information related to different names and identifiers, so you just click the right slide bar and you will the information you want to access, and it will redirect you toward that section. Okay, so if you want to check the pharmacology and biochemistry of this compounds, you can simply go to pharmacology. It will give you a detailed view of the activities and the mode of action of this compound. Likewise, you can also go to drug bank through PubChem itself. You just click on the link provided here and it will redirect you towards the PubChem. Okay, so there is other disease-based classification system like COX inhibitors and there is also important information related to the literatures, which contains the information related to aspirin. The large plethora of data you can collect from here, and you can also download the literature in a CSV file for your research purpose. And this was the search based on the text string. So if you want to if you want to draw a chemical structure in PubChem, you just need to click on this draw structure icon, and here you can, if you have a smile string, you can paste it here, or you can simply draw your structure. Just click on these icons or the atom structures provided here, and after that you just draw a structure. Like I have drawn this structure, and if I want to submit means export this structure for any publication purpose, I can also export this structure in different formatted provided by the PubChem. So now as I have drawn this structure, I will just search it in PubChem. So it identifies one structure and 67 similar compounds. Similar compounds is like as we go for similar compounds, mean compound which share up, mean there are different indices for calculating similarity of the compounds. Like Tanimoto similarity means it simply compares two compounds based on their fingerprints or chemical components present in them. So if two compounds are more similar, so means it ranges from 0 to 1. If the chemical similarity is towards the 1, it means they are 100% similar. If it's 7, then it means if it's 0.7, it means they are 70% similar. So there is a very important principle which states that if two compounds share similarity, if they are similar, then there are chances that they will hit the same biological targets. So similarity search is a very important aspect of any ligand based drug discovery. So you can also check for the similar structure from there. And 3D similarity means if two compounds share they are not they don't look like, means they are not, if you will see them in 2D diagrams, they are not looking same. But if you will see their 3D orientation, and they are sharing some 3D similarity, then there are chances that they will hit a same kind of protein, means binding site. They will share a same kind of binding site. So this is also very important aspect of any drug discovery uh, program. So you can retrieve all the system from here also, and from the ID. One second. PubChem also provide us an option to search the content from a list of compounds. Like you can give a simple compound list, matlab identifier from here, and upload a list. Like I have created a list of compound. Wait a second. So these are simple PubChem CID of the compounds. So as I have uploaded my TXT file, each record is represented in a new line character. And if I'll hit search bar, I'll get the information related to all the 10 compounds in one go. I can download the data from a list search also. So as we all know that there is a COVID pandemic is running, and if you want to do a research in COVID area, PubChem also provide data related to COVID-19 tested compounds. So if you will search for COVID-19, it will give you a record of 1565 compounds which has been reported to act on COVID or has been tested for COVID related to target in some assay. So there are 1565 compounds, 54 substances which are acting on 651 genes, means tested on 651 genes. There might be chances that they will be not active for that genes. This is just simple testing data. And record related to 532 32 proteins and pathways. So if you want to do anything in related to the field of COVID, you can also search for their data also. So our last section is PubChem upload. How can you upload data on PubChem? So you can simply search in Google that PubChem upload, and as you search for the PubChem upload, it will redirect you towards this page. First of all, you have to create a new user account for uploading your data into PubChem. As you register yourself in PubChem upload, you have to log in to submit your data. Okay. After that, they will also help you with some documentation, or they will also guide you towards how can you submit your data. And if you are aware, if you understand all these things, then you can simply go to substance, because you cannot directly submit any your compound as a PubChem compound. You will initially submit your data as a PubChem substance. Okay, so if you have already submitted some substance, then it will show in pending section unless it is verified by PubChem staff. And if you are submitting some new data, you should click on new. As you click on new, it will says upload your file or fill in the form. Fill in the form PubChem SID or PubChem CID, like we are submitting some compound. Then go for PubChem CID, then click next. It will take you towards some automatically generated form. You have to submit the name of an identifier of your compound. If you have some synonym for your compounds, or dates, important dates published, it has been published, any comments or cross references. And after that, you should submit your or upload your substance record. Once you will submit your record, it will now come into pending section. And once your data has been accepted by the PubChem, it will show as a PubChem record. Okay, so likewise you can also submit, like you have performed some high throughput screening or assays, so you can also provide that record here. Or if your data is on hold, then all the details will come here, and you can also customize your account in this section. So this is all about PubChem uploading. So I will suggest you to just go through all these things, and it will be really helpful for all of you to explore all these session by your own. So that is for today. I hope you might have learned with this session. So if you have any question, you can ask.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Is there any question? Or you can also ask which compound you want to search. So we will help you to search that compound in PubChem. Any suggestion? I think, ma'am, there is no queries, and I'm thinking that we have to stop this session here. And in future, if you have any query or so related to PubChem, okay, so you can ask via mail or contact us. Contact us via our website dcrc.online, or you can send your queries for this particular email ID and contact us in this number. And you can also follow us via this website like Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to end this session here, and thank you one and all. Hope this session will give some information about PubChem, and you learned something from here. And if you definitely will have any query regarding the PubChem, there are many undergraduate and postgraduate students are joining this lab, this workshop. So you can mail us. Thank you so much. And the certificates will be provided you